As the war in Iran continues to torpedo global energy markets, with the Strait of Hormuz still effectively blockaded by both Washington and Tehran, the UAE has decided now is the time to chart its own path. It says the beginning of May will mark its withdrawal from the groups of major oil-producing nations, and that the decision reflects a review of its current and future capacity and is based on its national interest. Many would argue it's about finances. These are the countries in OPEC and those in OPEC Plus, including Russia, from which the UAE will pull out. Often called a cartel, before the war they accounted for more than half of the world's oil. The UAE, a founding member, is in the top 10. But under OPEC rules, its output is limited to just over 3 million barrels a day, when it has the capacity to produce closer to 5.
If they're not curtailed by any production cuts, they would be earning anywhere around $100 or $110 million every day in extra income, oil income. So that, I think, makes economic sense at the moment.
But add to that, since the beginning of the war, Gulf countries, including the UAE, have been repeatedly hit by Iranian drones and missiles. Abu Dhabi has been critical of other Arab states for not doing enough to protect it. This on Monday.
Unfortunately, the Gulf Cooperation Council's stance was the weakest historically, considering the nature of the attack and the threat it posed to everyone.
The UAE says it didn't consult leading OPEC member Saudi Arabia or any other country about its decision. And it comes at a time when the country is arguably getting closer to Washington and to Israel. That means while the economics of it might look appealing, the politics of it are much more difficult, coming as Gulf countries met in Jeddah for the first time since the outbreak of war.
It weakens the whole structure of OPEC Plus, and you don't want that. And when you look at the European Union as a comparison, Brexit didn't go down very well, and there's a reason for that. They're worried that there might be, Frexit or whatever other country wants to leave the European Union. If one member leaves OPEC Plus, it's never a good sign because it could create a precedent. So whoever's still within OPEC and OPEC Plus will try to make sure that that doesn't happen.
With the price of oil climbing above $110 a barrel for the first time in 3 weeks on Tuesday, whether or not the move could be good news for consumers and the global economy, however, is simply too soon to tell. Victoria Innes, TRT World.